Goodbye.
Hi Chantal, good luck in the Philippines. We look forward to having you back.
Hi Chantal. I'm also trying to catch some of this on videotape, but we know we're all gonna miss you a lot. But we know you'll be around in various capacities anyway. So have a great time. You too, Susan.
Hurry back.
Okay, Rick. Going too far away, we can't hop over for a visit. Hope it goes good. We're gonna miss you.
Yes, have a good time. When it gets really hot, drink lots of water.
Yeah.
No one can talk other than Rose. All right. Well, I think we all know why we're here tonight, why we're gathered here.
Wait, I'm confused.
You're the only ones laughing. To wish Chantal and Susan a bon voyage and a incredible new life in many fronts. The host committee, we don't have the list of the host committee, but would the host committee please raise their hand? Right. We've slaved over a hot Costco. I'm not going to say it was my maiden voyage to Costco, so I've never done that before, and never will again. I'm Laura Listwood, a friend of both Susan and Chantal, a very close friend. I personally have been in denial about this whole situation, and I keep hoping that there's going to be some last-minute reprieve, that's going to come along and say, no, all a mistake. We're not really doing that. It was kind of a joke. We're just gonna move out to Arlington. Just enough of a commute. But what we've done is we've asked a few people. Chantal and Susan have asked a few people to say a few words about or whatever they want about Chantal and Susan for their departure and wishing them well as they go through this new life. And as you know, it's not only a new life of going to Manila for jobs, but it's also the new life of soon-to-be arrived child. Yes.
It's too late.
It's out now. Right, you're packing.
Right.
You bought the baby things. You
Right.
found baby. So first off, I would like Rose to say a few words.
Yeah.
Rose, okay.
Yeah.
Rose.
Around here.
This isn't going to be a Rose. I'm pleased that I'm going to have a chance to say a few words, and I hope to get through this without crying. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm one of these folks that grew up, to college, law school, and I've always been surrounded by family and friends. And so I really took friendship for granted. When you come to D.C., first time living away, and it's a tough town. I met Chantal at Full Key when I was working on my favorite. When I was on transition, and that was the beginning of a wonderful friendship. It turned out that I took the position at White House Drug Policy, and I was across the street from OMB, so we had occasions where we would talk. And it was very nice because, you play a role all day, and then you can connect with someone, and you can be yourself, and that's what Chantal provided. And there would be coffees, and there may be a meal, or a movie, but a real sense of being a part of her family, her very large family. And I know you're going to hear from a lot of, see, my goal is doing this without even crying, I've already failed. We're going to miss her for a lot of things, and you're going to hear from many others. What I'm going to remember and miss most is Chantel's very abundant heart. She really cares about the community. She cares about young people, young professionals. She knows that it's our responsibility to be folks to help groom the next generation of leaders. Just a couple of examples of how she and I, well actually how she supported me in some of my endeavors. I had been the counsel for a Manzanar committee which created one of the World War II internment camps. It's part of the National Park System. And when the First Lady embarked on this new millennium program to save our national treasures, we made application, but we ran into a hitch, and Chantel salvaged it, and we successfully been awarded a millennium grant. So, so Manzanar will be there as a memorial to that very tragic episode in our nation's history. There was a time, Chantel, remember our trip to New York? The Japanese National Museum was going to have an exhibit on America's concentration camp at the Statue of Liberty. But because some Jewish American groups opposed the characterization of World War II Japanese internment camp as a concentration camp, there was a hold placed on that event. I called Chantel, the community, the Japanese American community came together, the Jewish American community, there was dialogue, they worked through their differences. We weren't talking about death camps, they're trying to compare experiences. And they joined and supported the event. But breaking through at DOI was Chantel. And I know that there's going to be a lot of stories how Chantel, you know, in a lot of ways she's an unsung hero because she's there behind the scenes doing those things. On the executive order, as you well know, Laura, there were things that had to happen at DOI, and she was putting them in place. She's a tenacious woman who knows how to get things done. I got the benefit of joining you at your sushi celebration. But this is a remarkable woman. And I'll miss her also because this abundant heart had allowed me to join in a lot of celebrations. We hosted Aunt T for little Lena, her friend who adopted a little girl from China. And gee, I won't be able to do that for you. But there have been a number of very happy occasions where we celebrate life. And I'm going to miss you terribly. And Susan and Chantel, as you embark on your new journey, we don't even know how much we're going to miss you because I think we're all in denial. But we wish you well and continued success.
Yes, thank you, Rose.
We started with the Gucci.
I know. You've set the tone for us. Laura, where are you? There you are. Please. Laura Eford.
Make us happy.
I don't want to get teary-eyed myself, but I don't remember the first time I met Chantel because many of you know, I'm going to get teary-eyed. Okay, wait, let me compose myself.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think, I don't remember the first time I met Chantel because I heard about Chantel a long time before I actually met her. And working on the Hill, if you work for an Asian member of Congress or you work on interior issues, or back then when she was working at OMB, if you worked on budget issues, everybody knew who Chantel Wong was. And I can't even pinpoint the time that I met her, but I feel like I've known her for years, working on many of the same issues. And Susan, I know we kind of introduced ourselves today, but I know that we've met before, and I feel like I know you because I've been so close to Chantel, particularly in the last several months. But Chantel has really been a trendsetter for Asian Pacific Americans in this city who've come from all over the place, from Hawaii to from California, from Washington State, and her work in starting Kapal. And many of us here in the room have been a part of that organization. And Chantel really leaves a legacy for us that, I'm sorry, that's going to be really hard, I think, for us to fulfill. And we're excited about the new opportunities for Chantel and Susan in the Philippines and the excitement of adopting a new baby. But, you know, I think when it gets down to it, what I think about is, wait a minute, what does this mean for me? I can tell you that I'm excited because I want to visit you in the Philippines. But most of all, I have a bit of fear in me because I know that it's up to us to follow through with the legacy that Chantel started. And I'm going to count on a lot of people here, like Courtney and Deborah and David and Esther and Muriel, who's also leaving us. But many of us have worked with Chantel over the years, April and Bob. And we have to continue your work, and it's going to be large shoes to fill. And I think that's what puts the fear in us. But we do wish you great success in the Philippines, in Manila, and hope that you enjoy your life there. And we look forward to the day that you return, and look forward to the day that we can come visit you. But overall, Chantel, you've really been a great role model for us. And we want to give it to you.
I think you echoed it for all of us as they said, what about me?
Okay, no more crying.
Okay.
Started it.
All right, well then, Lynn, we'll ask you to come up.
I'm gonna cry. I'm never gonna cry. Well, you know, what do you say about family who decide to leave for just a while? I mean, Hope is gonna cry, but I'm so happy for them, for both Chantal and Susan, and for Sarah Rose, who is gonna be their new baby girl. That they're going to be a family. They're going to be going to a wonderful place. And Chantal and Susan are both going to enjoy their jobs. So I'm just really, really happy for them. So this is a celebration. At the same time, yes, I'm going to miss them tremendously. Chantal and I have known each other for like gazillion years, and she is truly family to me. And I'm probably not going to cry. And she's Hope's. And Susan and Chantal are Hope's godparents, so we're going to miss them tremendously. And I met Chantal when we were both roommates at the Kennedy School, and she was like my mom. She was such a good character. I would go home and she would have dinner cooked for me, and then I would go to school and I would have a back lunch with sandwiches and carrot sticks. This was before the little baby carrots, and she would shave the carrot sticks for me, put them in a little bag, and put them in little crackers for me in a little bag, and I'd be going to school every day with my little So I was probably the most well-fed person in graduate school. And of course I couldn't stop following Chantal around. So when she came to DC, I decided I better come here also. And then she decided to go work at OMB, and I decided maybe I should go work there as well. And then she decided to buy a place in Japan Circle, so I decided maybe I should live across the street from her. And this way I can go, get meals really, really quick. That way I didn't have to cook very much. And because every time I try to cook for Chantal, she told me that you really shouldn't cook because you're not very good. So I really should do this. So I just like to go with her. And I remember Chantal things like starting Capone. Like we were in her apartment, sitting there with her cat that everybody's allergic to. And this is how the organization started. We basically started because of Chantal's leadership. And then we were sitting around in her living room, passing around the hat, collecting $10 worth of postage. And now we have this, organization that is so well put together that is well respected in the Washington D.C. area. And it's amazing. And I think a lot of it's because of Chantal's leadership in the community and everything that she's done in OMB. The fact that we have so many more Asian Americans in the organization, I think is a tribute to you. And I also want to say something about Susan, because, I'm just so happy that she's a part of your life, and I think you need to thank me for this. I kept saying, God, just move in with Susan. And so I'm just really happy that you have found each other, and that you're basically going to be very happy in Manila together, and we're going to miss you so much. But at the same time, I know we're going to be seeing you, here in the Philippines, wherever, and we're going to keep in touch. All of us here feel very much like we're part of your family, and that you're a part of our family, and that we will be able to count on you coming back to be with us. So thank you very much for being part of our lives.
Thanks very much. We love you.
Thank you, Lynn. You did it without prepping.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Aha, okay, good. One other person we'd like who's been assigned these roles, and then we'll open it up to the floor.
And the roast starts. No more sense of roast.
That's right, that's right. But if John Garamendi, if you would just say a few words, please.
Well, I'll say a few words after I get a kiss here. This is a new thing for me to be talking with Chantal present. Chantal was my chief of staff, so I spent most of my time listening. which was a wise thing to do because she was always on top of all of the issues.
Always right.
Go ahead, Chantal. There are a few things that I learned along the way. She was always right. And her advice was always sound and good. And I think we spent nearly 2 years, just short of 2 years together. And during that time, we had some wonderful experiences. And we did a lot of good work for the people of America. And that good work was really done because of your talents and your skills and your ability to perceive what needed to be done and how to get it done. And I'm forever grateful for that. I know the two of you are headed off for the Philippines, and there's good fortune ahead for you and for the people there. You're going to do some wonderful work. You've got an enormous challenge. I know both of you do in your separate and together roles. But I think of the challenges that are out there in international development and other areas. They're going to be very fortunate to have it, as I was fortunate to have you work with me and to help me along the way. Patty and I give you our very best wishes and our love. You guys take care.
Right. Thank you, John, very much. I think we all agree with you that when Chantal talks, we listen.
May as well, it saves a lot of time.
Learned your lesson well, that's good. And since the word Chantal and Susan is one word, I'd like to ask Tom Mader to come and speak also.
Well, I realized my hands were a little jittery, and it has nothing to do with being nervous or emotional. I said to Laura, this is my 4th can of Diet Coke with caffeine since I've been here, which I normally don't drink. The other thing is, I guess, just being an old theater person, I'd rather stand over here. I like to look out at all the audience, especially the 2 first ladies of the presidential box here. So I just wrote a couple things, and I was asked to sort of write a little bit more about the Susan end of my life, and so I thought I would do that. And of course, after reading this and not knowing most of you in the audience, I'm probably going to be killed by her afterwards. So here we go. All the secrets are out. Sometimes I think that Susan and my relationship is one of a series of letters of recommendation. At the wedding of a very prominent political family here in Washington, the groom said to me, "Meet Susan Lamb. You should hire her at the Kennedy Center." That was 18 years ago, and you were married to a man. And soon afterwards, you did have me hire you. In those early days, I was never quite sure who was working for whom. After all, you do remember sitting across my desk and stating, "Give me a salary increase now or I'm walking out of this office right away." And of course, you got the raise. Then late one Saturday night, we turned to each other and said, "What in the world have we created? What do you think will happen tomorrow? You think anyone will show?" Well, 5 stages, over 50 performances, and 60,000 attendees later the next day, we had done something right together. We had created the first ever Kennedy Center open house, which is now into its 16th year. And our working relationship has just kept getting better, and our friendship has just kept growing every day. And then you were off to Nashville. Country music, Lyle Lovett, Mary Chapin Carpenter, and even the Vanderbilt Law School. I think that was the first of the series of my letters of recommendation for you. Then Putney, Vermont, and another letter of recommendation. A challenging life with a performing arts center and new encounters with lesbians with Birkenstocks. To being a truck driver. No request for a letter of recommendation. Then to New York City, and another letter from me. Back to Washington, D.C. and the Human Rights Campaign, and another letter from me. And finally, the Kennedy School of Government, and one more letter of recommendation from me. And this time you even edited it and said, "It just isn't glowing enough." And now on to the Philippines for a new life and a new career. And guess what? You didn't ask me for a letter of recommendation. You don't need to anymore. Your resume, your intelligence, your experiences, your personality, your talents, your love, your care, all of them speak for themselves. Now I just have to give you now what really does matter. And that is my love and support, which I will continue to share with you and Chantel forever and ever and ever. My dear Susan and Chantel, you are remarkable women. I am so fortunate that you are my friends. And as my most wonderful grandfather always said to me, "Not goodbye, I'll just see you later."
We'd love to have everyone be having the opportunity to say something, but they do have to leave at some point. But we would really ask you to write your comments in the book, because this is sort of the living scrapbook for them that we're going to force them to take with them to Manila. Please write whatever you like in the scrapbook, and you brought some sort of memento, put it in the book. It's what this is all for. And before I turn it over to Chantel and Susan, which we will do, it's not my turn. Although as I'm listening, I'm thinking to myself, I better call Corazon Aquino. and forewarn her that Chantel and Susan are coming to the Philippines, just in case there's a change in the people's democracy there. I met Chantel and Susan not through business, but actually literally a month after I moved to Washington, D.C., but I actually met them in, was it Aspen or? Aspen, yeah, Aspen, Colorado. So we were out of place and out of time, as it were. All I knew was that my sort of radar was working. And there were these two people there in Aspen at this weekend celebration. And, you know, the universe must have a way of watching out for you. So I knew no one in Washington, D.C. I meet the living Rolodex. There was no one, I can't imagine any two other people in this city to have met. And of course, their warmth and generosity in sharing their friends is what's incredible also, because through them I've met some incredibly wonderful people. But Chantel and Susan are family for me in Washington. And, you know, how do you replace, you know, the person, how do you replace, you know, that phone when you just press in that instant phone dial because it goes directly to Chantel and directly to Susan. You say, hi, it's me. You know, get me out of my funk today. And they do. How do you replace, you know, that wonderful, sweet psychological sensitivity that Susan has? How do you replace the logical clarity that Chantel will give you when you're in the midst of your own meshuggahs, as we say in Yiddish? You know, that's very hard to replace across the internet or wherever. And I think we'll try, but I know that there will be a big void for me in my life. And I'm clinging to the last minute. They're staying with me when the movers come. I'm not letting them go until the absolute last moment. They're true friends. They're incredible contributors to the community, as we have heard. They will do that in Manila. They'll do that wherever they are. They'll be wonderful parents. We know that also, because we just watch the kind of soulful people that Chantel and Susan are. And we do celebrate, as Lynn said, they're going into this new life together. We will send them all the white light and energy we can in cool weather. You know, or maybe we'll just send them air conditioning. Right. And we will wish them well, but Washington, D.C. and our lives will be just a little bit poor for not having them that one phone call or that one quick drive away. But we want them to go and do what they want to do, even though we want them to stay also. But that's what life's all about, those kinds of choices in life. So I send you my love, both of you, my family. God bless you.